I totally lost my train of thought of what I was doing my video. Oh, yeah, so I haven't shot any videos since my show Thursday. Show Thursday was, I don't know, you know, my usual shit. I go there and I'm high hopes of the night ending with a meaningful overnight relationship that includes some bedroom fun and somebody that regularly chats with me on Snapchat and occasionally texts me and has been kind of talking about hanging out with me and she was there and being super friendly and a little bit touchy-feely, and I thought maybe that was going somewhere. And I'm well aware she's bi, no shock there, but she ended up apparently hooking up with a really, really hot woman who was on the dance floor and leaving with her, and then she was talking about, I was like, oh, I thought you were going to come to my place tonight. And she's like, oh, not tonight, some other night though. She goes, yeah, we can watch movies and stuff. I said, but I got to be able to bring her along. And I'm like, oh, really? Okay. And it's just like, yeah, but movies, no sex. And I'm like, oh, come on now. I could really use some sex. But anyway, overall it was pretty lightheaded exchange, but I ended up being frustrated because as I had women dancing, you know, kind of erotically with me, and I had women flirting with me, and not everybody was being angry with me about whether or not I had, you know, oh, you're not letting me sing. I told you need to pick out a song that I can get. I haven't been able to find that. I had somebody go as far as to put like 5 slips of the same song all across my keyboard as I was singing. And you want to piss me off, lay a karaoke slip on my keyboard, touch my keyboard in any shape, way, or form, obstruct my access to my keyboard. You are immediately on my shit list. That is not yours to fuck with. Especially since I've actually got like a thing on the back of my book that says right on it, and I think it's printed on the front of my books as well, to give your karaoke request to the karaoke host. Do not lay them on his table or keyboard. So, of course, there's a stereotype that dark-skinned people don't read. So, yeah, I'm kind of finding that there's some truth in that stereotype as well. Although, to be fair, it seems like most drunk karaoke people don't read. So, there's that. Anyway. But yeah, I just had so many women, you know, dancing erotically and flirting with me and stuff, and as per usual, by 2:15 in the morning, I was 100% completely alone, and yeah, after the day before, I didn't even want to attempt to try and connect with Priscilla, because I felt like she had really shot me down in the way that, you know, I'd got off work early and was like, oh, I was asleep. If you were awake enough to text me as I was driving, you knew I was on my way to you. Whatever, over it, sick of it. I just found another thing about her that just kind of pissed me off as well. It's just the way she takes my shit for granted. I mean, that's the reason I took my remote. Oh, by the way, I yesterday, looking for something else in my car, I found the remote to my TV. So I'm able to get to the root of the problems that I've been having with it. Damn it, I left the window open. Wish there was a setting on my car where I could throw a physical switch and it would automatically roll up all the windows when I shut it off. That would be awesome. I really need to clean out my car. I was actually thinking about doing it today, but probably not happening since the sun is already going down. Priscilla still hasn't come by to grab her umbrella, or those boxes that were so important to her that she had to store them in my place. But I've just been sitting here. Now, of course, she doesn't have a car right now. But yeah, apparently she's made it clear that she's, you know, too good to ride the bus or walk anywhere. So I can't expect that she would actually walk here, even though I believe this is walking distance from her new place. And she was able to walk to. She was able to walk last weekend to. What do you call it? To the. Well, that's weird. The screensaver's on, but it doesn't show the time. So I'm thinking that's not the Google screensaver. It's some other screensaver. It's pretty, whatever it is. A long time since I've seen trees and snow. Well, you know, pine trees in the forest and snow. Anyway, yeah, I did mention I have 2 remotes for this TV. This is actually the one that came with it. Oh, never mind. That's not a screensaver. That was the movie that I was watching. I paused it. Wow, it stayed right there paused the entire time I was gone. That's a good setup. Nice to see that pop-up telling me that there's a problem with my Google account. It's not working. So anyway, speaking of Priscilla and being frustrated with her just messing with stuff, and as I mentioned several times, the whole reason I had taken the remote and taken it out of this living room was because I felt like she was just completely taking advantage of my TV as if it was hers to use anytime, 24/7, like just not respecting the fact that that is mine, and was spending time, you know, watching cooking shows when she should be cleaning up her mess in the kitchen, and was spending time watching documentaries when, hey, I'm home, why don't you join me in the bedroom? Can we have some of that? I mean, it's kind of why you're here, is it not? Oh, no, you're just here to take up space in my living room and put all your shit around my place and make a mess out of my kitchen and use my TV like it's your TV because you don't have a TV. Got it. Anyway, the account that was causing all these pop-ups on my TV was hers. One of her email addresses. Apparently at some point she had changed her password to it, so my TV wasn't logging into it. So I'm sure it showed. I had a moment where trying to, like, now that I had my remote, I was able to click the OK and get past that prompt that kept coming up telling me that I need to verify it's me, and it said it sent a message to her. Google's so fun how it works across multiple devices, multiple accounts, that it was sending a message to her Motorola phone, which I do know is one she uses. So she got a pop-up message saying someone's trying to log into her account. I'm sure she clicked no on it, which is fine. So haven't got a message back from her. So God, what have I done since I'm sorry, it's no cohesiveness on this video at all. So yeah, when I left, I was kind of tired and kind of just super depressed and just feeling really, really lonely when I left Bullocks. I left really not long after my show. Didn't stay and work on music at all. I just pretty much shut my shit down and cleaned up my area and left. And I ended up being just so depressed that I didn't really get out of bed much on Friday, yesterday. On the bright side, I got some good rest. That's a good thing. I know I need that from time to time. Although I didn't sleep well, I kept, you know. That comes with that sort of loneliness that I really don't have a lover anymore kind of loneliness, where you wake up and you're craving that, and that's not there, and you can't sleep, but you don't feel like getting up either. At least that's how it is for me. So yeah, from there, oh, by the way, I don't have my computer set up. Have not unpacked it yet. You know, in another video, I remember pointing to a suitcase sitting here and saying, oh, that's my laundry. That actually is my laundry. That was my laundry, and that wasn't. That was actually the suitcase that my computer goes in. Hey, buddy. Everybody say hi to Sambo. Meow. Meow. Yeah, so at least somebody's always glad to see me, or maybe just wants me to give them some more food. Probably the latter. you know, um, he's talkative today. Um, so anyway, yeah, I just came home and just went to sleep. I don't think I really did anything after I got home. Just went to sleep. Spent most of the day in bed. Friday just didn't feel like getting up or doing anything. At one point, I kind of I knew I did a little something, but I don't know. Worked on trying to upload my videos. That's about it. Oh, I feel like I did something, but damned if I can remember what it was at the moment. Eventually, I was looking at the time, and I'm like, well, I really do need to get over to Bullocks and, if at the very minimum, pack up my equipment and get it out of the way of the band. So I went there. Still have no idea what's up with my power cords. Never stuck around to talk to them about that. I was not in a very good mood. I was not in a very sociable mood. In fact, I had a couple Susie and her other attractive Hispanic friend from work were both asking me, hey, what am I okay? What's going on? I just didn't really feel like explaining it. I mean, how does one tactfully say, I'm sexually frustrated and depressed and horny and lonely, and you're too old, you're too married, and you've made it very clear that you have higher standards than me. So I'm wasting my time at this table. Got to go bye. How does one tactfully say that? Yeah, you don't. There's no way to tactfully say that. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm not feeling it. Sorry, guys, just not feeling very good. So I went back to my table, to my computer. Never to get my damn. Got a pitcher of Coke and asked for a couple tacos. I never did get my tacos. That's awfully frustrating. But I never did go back up and question my tacos either. I just was not feeling like talking to anybody. Once I walked away from Susie's table, I just put my headphones on and I did work on music a little bit. Another item of my karaoke stuff has gone missing, and it's something really small and not like worth much, but it's something I use that I don't know how the hell I misplaced it, and I wonder if I just left it out somewhere and somebody threw it away or somebody snagged it. But I have a little gooseneck USB, or I had a little gooseneck USB lamp. Picked it up for $2 in the clearance section at Target years ago. Nothing much to it. I just plug into a USB hole on the front of my computer that I do my karaoke on, and it's got a little flexible metal gooseneck, and then it's kind of got a long stick, for any better way to explain it, that comes straight out the gooseneck. That's about, I don't know, say about 8 inches long, and it's got a strip of LED lights in it, and which shine down, and I can angle it, and it's notably bright for what it is, and it's really dark where I'm set up at Bullocks. So I plugged that in and I kind of put it above my mixer and my keyboard, and it allows me to see good enough to operate my mixer and my keyboard. And granted, for the most part, I can run my mixer in the dark because I know my controls really well. And that's like 90% muscle memory for this time. And I do know how to touch type to a point, but it does get a little frustrating not being able to see my keys. The light-up keyboard that I bought is kind of a wannabe light-up keyboard. It doesn't light up the labeling of the keys. It's just backlighting on the keys. There's no lighting for the labeling of the keys, which, had I paid more attention to the box and seen that that's what it was, I probably would not have even bought it. I was expecting it was going to light up the letters on the keys so I could see what they were in the dark, and it doesn't do that. So yeah, I was really struggling in my last show to see the keyboard and operate the keyboard and see people's karaoke slips and read people's karaoke slips, since that light was missing. And then Friday, as I was trying to work on music, that was really frustrating. And then on top of that, I was having internet connectivity issues. The bar's Wi-Fi, which is not, for bar patron use, is, I've mentioned many times, it's just painfully slow. It's on just a really low-level DSL. I don't get the strongest signal where I'm at because it's located in the bar's office at the back of the bar, so I'm a distance from it, and it's brutally slow anyway. I mean, I've heard the bartenders complain about how sometimes that it's tough for them to get credit cards to go through on it. So it's not just me having issues with it. And certainly that's a more important use than me trying to use it to do my, work on my music library. The last day I was actually there, the week before when I was working on music, I was having so much issues with the internet there that I actually hotspotted my Obama phone and was using it for internet. As I mentioned on my videos on Thursday, the never-ending stream of free data on the Obama phone that I was getting through Assurance Wireless, they've cut that off. I literally have no data on there at all until it resets. I don't even know where that's going to be, but I'm not going to spend any more money on data for it. I don't feel like I can justify that expense. So yeah, that wasn't an option. And I used to always use a Cox Wi-Fi hotspot, which 90% of the time was great. Like, it was reasonably fast, and I used to get between 4 to 5 bars on it. It was a nice strong signal, and I was reasonably sure that came from the barber shop next door. Now I'm still getting a Cox hotspot. I don't know if it's coming from somebody else, but the signal has got very, very weak, and it's just not really usable anymore. Not like it used to be. I've been connecting my iPhone to it when I'm over at Bullocks, and it seems to be just fine for using like Snapchat and things like that. But as far as actually using it for downloading video files and even updating my Songbook DB database, it doesn't get the job done. So between trying to work in the dark without my light, which is missing, I did order another one off Amazon.com. Found one pretty cheap, maybe $10 or whatever. I think it was closer to $8. It's a different design, but it should serve the same function. So that should show up in the mail. Actually, it might be on my doorstep right now. So yeah, between the dark and the bad internet connection, I didn't get much music work done. I did get 2 songs added though to my karaoke library. Decided to work on Peter Gabriel, so I got Peter Gabriel, I Have the Touch, which was just recently released by Songbook or by Karaoke Version. Kind of disappointed with their version of it. There's a certain backing vocal, and right now I'm not able to hear the song in my head. But there's sort of a backing vocal that isn't Peter Gabriel that should be in the song that is like notably missing, and to me it's such a crucial part of the song that it just kind of makes the song sound like it's lacking. And just overall the sound of the instrumental just doesn't. It's really bassy. It's got a really heavy bass, whereas at least the MP3 I have of that song doesn't have very heavy bass. In fact, I found when I was listening to the MP3 of the song, I brought the bass up a little bit just because the bass was kind of lacking, which is probably just because I ripped it off like an old, best of compilation or whatever that wasn't mastered with a lot of bass. But I mean, whatever, just the whole equalization of the sound. And then there's a lot of like synthesizer sounds in the song I Have the Touch off the Security album by Peter Gabriel. They just seem to be completely lacking in the karaoke version. There's a thing on karaoke version where you can rate it, and I looked at it and I noticed 2 people had already given it 5-star ratings, and I'm just scratching my head going, really? That was 5 stars to you? I gave it 3. I didn't bother to actually give it a review and explain why I only gave it 3. And I honestly, I felt 3 stars as being pretty generous. I don't see myself ever singing I Have the Touch just because I'm just that disillusioned with that particular karaoke track of it, which is unusual. Usually karaoke version is a very good quality product, but this one, kind of left me wanting something better. And I've never seen another version of that song, or I wouldn't be adding it. So anyway, that I added. At least by adding that, I realized that the version of the MP3 that I had, If I Have the Touch, was from the original 1982 7-inch single edit, as opposed to the album version, which is all the more reason I need to get the album Security by Peter Gabriel into my MP3 library. Self-titled album in most countries, but in the United States and Canada, It was released under the title Security. The big hit off that one, Shock the Monkey. That was his big hit off that album. But the whole album is really good. I mean, pretty much all Peter Gabriel albums are really good from beginning to end. But Security is the album by him that really got me into him. So yeah, that's a big one for me. But yeah, I didn't realize I was listening to it. I was like, wait a minute, how did I get a 4.5 minute karaoke version of a 3.5 minute song? And of course, that required a trip to Wikipedia and try to get me some answers. I'm like, oh, I have a single edit, and this is apparently based on the album version, which I don't have, but I remember it enough to know that this is probably the right arrangement. You know, aside from the fact that it's missing certain sounds that should be there, either missing or they're so low in the mix that you can barely hear them, and then other sounds that should be subdued in the mix are front and center and overly loud, and wish I could remember what it is that's what there's just one vocal element. You're snagging my shirt, cat. God damn it! You just snagged one of my favorite shirts. Damn, I hope you didn't pull a thread out of this shirt. That's gonna make me frustrated. Careful with your little claws, cat. Damn. Apparently Sambo needs some attention. Anyway, yeah, I kind of just disappointed with that. There's one vocal part though that's just really missing, and it's a backing vocal. It's not Peter Gabriel. It's something that should be in the karaoke track, and it's just not. And now at the moment I can't think of how to explain what it is. Like I could kind of sing it, but it's just not in my head right now. Anyway, the other track that I added before I finally just decided that I didn't want to be around people anymore, and that the lack of internet connectivity and the missing light was just more frustration than I felt like dealing with. I was also kind of running. To be fair, I was also kind of running out of time. It was nearly 7 o'clock, and I generally got to be packing up by like 8 o'clock anyway. But the other one, I did a search, because generally I start with my karaoke version stuff, since that's what I'm actually paying money for, and especially recent stuff that I've purchased. It's kind of nice to get stuff that I'm spending money on into my library. And I was really excited about having a track where I have the touch. So, of course, that made it all the more of a letdown. If it was a song I wasn't so into, I probably would have been like, this is okay, and just moved on with it. But I was just like listening to that song the other day when I put it in my cart when I was here, on Thursday working on music, Thursday afternoon, and of course listened to it on my living room system all cranked up, and just like, oh, I can't wait to sing this. Now that I've heard how much of a fail the track is, I'm not that eager to sing it. So anyway, at that point I'll search that directory, which is like my web download directory, to see, hey, do I have anything else by this artist? And then I've got 4 more directories that I search. I didn't get to the other 3. I just went to the second one that I go to after the download one being my first one. And that one's a bunch of previous downloads. It's an organizational one. I'm not putting anything more in it. I'm just taking away from it, but it's still a spot where I have a bunch of stuff that I haven't databased yet. And I saw something I totally forgot I had. So there's a channel on YouTube, and I'm not sure if it's called Christopher Call or if it's called CC Karaoke. I think the channel used to be called Christopher Call, and at one point he renamed it to CC Karaoke, just to make it more clear that it was a karaoke channel. And he's grown his channel a lot. I think when I first started subscribing to him, he probably had 600 subscribers, if that. And at that point, like my YouTube channel, my old YouTube channel, Dan the Taxi Man, probably had about 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers. So, but I saw when he started that he really had a good thing going on as far as doing some very unique and very high quality karaoke. And it seemed like every track I listened to, he was actually somehow obtaining the original studio instrumental, which made for some really awesome tracks most of the time. Occasionally it seemed a little lacking because there'd be some backing vocals that were absent, which to me kind of made the track disappointing, but for the most part just sounded really good. Anyway, I ended up kind of connecting with him in the comments. Then we started emailing each other. We've never talked on the phone, but we've sent countless emails to each other, and occasionally we'll chat in the comment section as well. I had one time actually he was doing a like a live stream, and I actually got through to him on his live chat, and he was like, "Hey, didn't you used to have the Dan the Taxi Man channel?" I'm like, "Yep," and he's like, "Awesome to see you back. I think you're one of my first 100 subscribers," and I'm like, "Yeah, something like that." So it's kind of cool to see that a YouTuber who's become as big as he has still remembers me. I felt the love there. But anyway, at one point in time, he gave me access to a cloud storage he had, which has all of his original MP3 plus G files. All his YouTube files are made from MP3 plus G and converted over. Anyway. So of course they have a very old school karaoke look, even when they're coming from high definition MP4 downloads from YouTube. But he sent me the MP3 plus G files, which ends up being a lot better for my karaoke system and takes up a lot less space, and looks better because of my MP3 plus G plugin for Winamp. The way it scales and does the graphics, just it looks really sharp when it upscales the stuff and rounds it up for display on a high definition screen. And I window it. I've got a way that I window it where it puts a frame around it that it says karaoke by Dan and has a scannable QR code and tells people what they need to do to sign up for karaoke. So I like to be able to have that displayed as much as possible. Plus, that gives me the option of a little more editing options if I want to tweak some stuff before I add his stuff to my library. Anyway, he gave me access to that. It also has got some tracks that got blocked on YouTube for copyright reasons. So anyway, I was just flattered he gave me access to that. And that was several years ago. And I still haven't got around to working my way through it. But one of the things that was in there that I totally forgot about was the New Blood orchestral version of Red Rain, which I absolutely love. In fact, speaking of Peter Gabriel and New Blood, for those not familiar, New Blood was a project that Peter Gabriel did kind of later in his career. I want to say in the early 2010s. So I think he started in 2010. First thing he did with that project, which wasn't an actual orchestra, like now he actually has the New Blood Orchestra, but before he was just kind of contracting with other musicians to put together he was doing the orchestral arrangements himself, but he was contacting with just musicians to get it recorded as opposed to actually having his own orchestra, which I don't know if he still has it, but he certainly had it for quite some time. Trying to find something on this shelf over here. There it is. The shelves are more organized than they look. Anyway, yeah, Peter Gabriel's one of those older artists that has always been extremely progressive, not only in his music but with the use of technology. And so he did this album, I want to say 2009-ish, where he did these orchestral arrangements of cover songs, just songs that are his favorite to him, and he kind of reimagined them and made them his own with an orchestra. And then for a follow-up of that, he did an album called New Blood, where he did orchestral arrangements of his songs, and made a point for them to not be just hit, for it to be a greatest hits reimagined. But so I mean, there's not an orchestral arrangement of Sledgehammer, like that would have been the no-brainer. Didn't do Sledgehammer, went to some deeper tracks, and I love the orchestral arrangement of Red Rain. And apparently what Christopher Call did to make that track is there's an expanded, what do you call it, there's the regular release of New Blood, and then there was a deluxe edition, 2 CD edition, which had some of the instrumental versions without Peter Gabriel's vocals. So yeah, Christopher Call used that and then did author CDG graphics to go with it. Anyway, it's a great, like Christopher Call, you absolutely rock. Amazing bit of, and I'll try to put a link to his karaoke channel in this video description. He did an amazing karaoke version with that. So it's the real music right off of
the Peter Gabriel CD. And anyway, what I want to get off the shelf is this here. So Peter Gabriel also did a full concert with after he created the New Blood Orchestra to perform these orchestral versions. And this here is it's. I was thinking it was like a digipack, but no, it's a Blu-ray in a slipcase. But anyway, Peter Gabriel, New Blood, live in London, and this is a. Can I find the? It's not really boldly shown on the cover here. In 3 dimensions. It doesn't have the 3D Blu-ray logo on it, interestingly enough. But yeah, this is a 3D Blu-ray, and this concert video is just unbelievable. Just how good it is. Oh, and of course, issued multiple formats. That's the DVD, which I'll probably never play. Thanks for the redundant disc. And then there's the 2D Blu-ray. It's got the Blu-ray logo on it. And then this one here. That's not even the regular 3D. That's Sony's 3D Blu-ray logo. There's another logo that's more common for 3D Blu-rays. But Sony, when they first launched 3D Blu-ray, that's the logo that they used. That stylized 3D. Anyway, yeah, this concert was actually shot with 3D cameras, and I've never seen Peter Gabriel in person in concert. I would love to. He's definitely one of my bucket list, artists that I really, really want to see someday. But yeah, getting to see this, and I think it's in. I'm not sure if it's in 5.1 surround or 7.1 surround. But whatever it is, it's in multi-channel surround, and it just sounds amazing. It's just it's like one of the most immersive home video concert experiences I've ever had. I mean, just the 3D effects, and then he added some graphics on top of it, which are just makes it even cooler. Anyway, I knew I had that version because I've sang it when I was still doing my show over at Castaways. Out of my inbox, but I never got around to putting it in the library, and it's now like in the library and in the SongDB. And I also kind of clarified, since of course that gives me 2 listings for Red Rain for karaoke. I kind of clarified that one is the whatever year So came out. I want to say 1984 or maybe 1985. Instead of saying Red Rain, it says Red Rain in parentheses. I think it's a 1985 So version, and then the other one says 2011 New Blood orchestral version. So somebody doing a search for Peter Gabriel or browsing my Songbook DB can look at those and go, oh yeah, that's a difference. I mean, if somebody just writes down Red Rain, I'm going to give them the version off So, because I feel like the average person probably doesn't know anything about Peter Gabriel's New Blood Orchestra. But if I sing it myself, I don't know. I could go either way. I love both versions of the song, but more likely than not, I'm gonna sing the New Blood version, just because it's different and unique, and that's such an uncommon thing to have for karaoke. So thank you, Christopher Call, for that. And yeah, that's added. And boy, I just got sidetracked on a tangent talking about that. I was going to talk about what I did last night. Really not much to say. After that, I was just so depressed and frustrated that and one thing that comes with me when I go through that kind of depression is I just get really tired. I just kind of shut down. So in spite of the fact that I got plenty of sleep, I came straight home, and I probably got home at about 8 o'clock, and I just went to bed and went to sleep. I didn't wake up until probably 12:30 a.m. Woke up to text messages from Priscilla where she's being bent that I didn't answer her, but you know what? When I'm needing you, you don't answer me either. So you get what you give. And right now you're not giving it up. So, so you're not going to get much attention from me. Sorry about that. Especially when, the problem with my TV. I think I mentioned that. It was her account. So she changed password on her account. So that was what was making my TV freak out. Not like she's obligated to give me the password to her YouTube account or to her Google account for my TV. What I'm bothered by is that she put her Google account into my TV. I mean, granted, she probably was not able to take it from out of my TV after changing the password, because I took the remote away from the TV, so she couldn't have access to the TV anymore. So, you know, I can't really slide her for not having removed it, but I don't recall her ever asking my permission to put her account into my TV to begin with, because I'm pretty sure I would have told her no. I'm pretty sure I would have told her no. But anyway, as you see, I'm not getting the constant pop-up telling me to check that. So yeah, all I had to do was remove it. Speaking of other people putting their accounts on my TV, the other Google account that is in my TV right now is my daughter Allison's, which apparently she hasn't changed the password to. So apparently I'm logged into my daughter's Google account on this TV. Good times. But at least, you know, I know I can call my daughter up right now and talk to her about it, and it's not going to be a argument. As because there's a little bit of disappointment I have with her that she's a stripper, and I don't feel good about that. But I mean, whatever, it's her life, you know. So I don't feel like she's slighting me by doing that. But as far as Priscilla, you know, I'm still really frustrated that she hasn't come and picked up this shit that's blocking my place, you know. She hasn't come and picked up this shit that's blocking my place, and she certainly hasn't cleaned up her mess in the kitchen, and any cleaning that's going to been done in the kitchen I've done. She just grabbed the stuff she wanted and left everything else behind and worked on making her kitchen all nice, never mind the damage she did to mine. And I'm still, you know, supposedly acts like she wants to have a relationship with me, but isn't coming through with the bedroom fun, you know. That's part of it. If that's a part of the package, I'm just not interested. Have a nice life. It just is what it is. But yeah, really frustrated that she hid my trackie from me, that she found it, didn't tell me where she found it, and just maliciously hid it and didn't tell me about it. That's a fucked up thing to do. And now I got a little extra anger about, you know, the dysfunctionality of my TV that was due to her putting her Google account into it without asking if I was okay with it, because of course I would not have been. Like, whatever you're trying to do with my TV that requires a Google account, you need to buy your own goddamn Google TV. Quit fucking with my TV. That's not your TV. Unless I have 100% total free access to your body 24/7 whenever I want, you don't get 100% 24-hour free access to my TV whenever you want. That's how that works. Anyway, I'm just kind of talking in loops here. I did at one point wake up, and I had a friend that was just kind of worried about how depressed I've been lately, and he asked if I wanted to come over to his place. So I ended up crashing over there. Not that we did anything. Pretty much as soon as I showed up, we talked for a little bit. He did let me take a bath at his place because once again my bathtub is not draining very well, and I still have no hot water here. But let me take a bath at his place, and yeah, I woke up with a massive migraine headache, but at least he had some pain pills I could take, and then he rolled off to have lunch with somebody. It's like, oh, I already made lunch plans. I'm like, oh damn, I figured we'd at least have lunch. But anyway, that was a nice escape. Of course, woke up for more Snapchat messages from Priscilla, like, hey, why aren't you answering the phone? Oh my gosh, like, get my iPhone. I left the iPhone charging in the bedroom. Oh yeah, my bedroom is still an absolute train wreck. Although I did kind of accomplish something today that I feel is sort of a big deal. As you see, most of my vinyl collection is just obscured by all this piles of stuff. But I did a big video, not last weekend, but the weekend before. Maybe it was last weekend. I don't know, all my shit's blurred together. But where I went through all the stuff that I had bought on at Savers, when I thought I had arrived an hour before on a Friday before I thought I had arrived an hour before Bullock's open. Turns out I didn't. She just was a little late unlocking the door, and I should have just gone to the back door. But anyway, I found some great stuff. And one of the albums I found was Heartbreaker by Free. I know it's on in the background of a couple of my videos from that day, the day I did the review. And I actually got that cataloged on my Discogs and in a plastic sleeve and in the library where it belongs. So the fact I actually got an LP put away with so much of my access to my collection like obscured by stuff is a huge accomplishment. Oh, maybe my iPhone's on the charger. No, my iPhone's not on the charger. My iPhone's in my hand. That's what I'm recording with. All right, that was a pretty major retard moment. Anyway, what I was going to say is, yeah, at one point, she, within a 2 or 3 minute time period, in the morning, when like I'm at my friend's place, and my iPhone, I left it here on the charger because it was busy. I left it on the charger because A, it needed to charge, and B, I was trying to export a segment of my vlog from iMovie up to the Microsoft Cloud. I don't know if that saves me any space, but I found it does save me a step. But in order for that to work, it has to be left in the foreground. I can't multitask, and I can't take it away from its internet connection. And for whatever, well, actually, I explained it in the video I uploaded today from last Thursday. I did explain in the video description that the reason it was so obscenely large was because the first segment, somehow I shot it in 4K. So iMovie insisted on uploading the entire thing in 4K, which of course made for an obscenely huge file, took an obscenely long time to upload onto the iCloud. So yeah, my friend invited me to come over to his place and unwind and take a warm bath, and that sounded like a lot better than just laying in bed being depressed, watching this thing very slowly upload to the Microsoft Cloud. So yeah, so I did that, and I left the iPhone here. I left the iPhone here uploading that, and so yeah, she's all bent out of shape that she's calling and I'm not answering her call. I mean, every time I call her, she never answers my call. So there's that. And you know, if you really wanted to talk to me, why haven't you come by and knocked on the door? There's a novel concept. Knock on my door. Or use my Snapchat. My Snapchat's generally speaking the most reliable way to reach me because I can bounce it from device to device to device, whereas only one phone has my phone number on it, and I don't always have that phone in my hand. It's sometimes busy doing things because I use it as as a computing device, and sometimes it's just in another room charging. Just, you know, grr. But yeah, in about a 2 minute or 3 minute time period, it shows in my pushing messages, in a 2 minute time period, that she tried calling me 4 times. And just looking at that, I had half a mind to just screenshot it and put it on TikTok with the background music of Mariah Carey, Obsessed. Is just seeing that many, like, I didn't answer your call once. Get a clue, get a hint. Like, send a message on Snapchat, I'll respond to it when I respond to it. I could be asleep. My phone could be shut off, just whatever. I haven't made plans with you. Make plans with me, and we'll get together. But unless I've done that, don't expect I'm just going to answer your fucking phone call at random hours of the day. When I sleep random hours of the day. I'm ringing my phone 4 times in less than 3 minutes. That's just obsessive behavior. Not cool with that. Oh my God. Timer just showed 1 hour, 11 minutes, 11 seconds. This video's gone on too long. Thanks for watching.